Alright, here I'm going to talk about the last thing officially for One Piece, because after this, all that's really left to do for One Piece, aside from waiting for the next chapter of the manga to come out and the next episode to come out, is just read light novels. That's really it. So basically, I've got most of this franchise done. I mean, I'm not playing video games because, well, I don't own them. So, I can't exactly review them because I don't own them, so I can't exactly tell the detail of them. Okay. Excuse me, there are 5 omakes made. There were 13 altogether, but only about 5 were animated. So let's talk about the 5 that were animated. I'll say the first one for last. Okay, first one is Report Time. Report Time is something that looks like it kind of takes place like during, like just before they got into the Grand Line. It's just basically a reporter interviewing the first 5 crew members of the Straw Hat crew, and then he just eats one of Sanji's meals. That is it. And of course, them talking about of how they got the ship and stuff like that. Yeah, it just basically just a quick little report thing. It's okay. It's a different animation style from the series. Alright, next is Obahan Time. This one is an alternate reality. This is actually one of several alternate reality ones. This is actually, unlike the other omakes. Now, the Report Time is the only one that kind of considered to be semi-canon. Well, because it loosely kind of basically explains stuff. It just basically, even though these omakes not technically canon, but the second one is basically avoid paying rent. It's like, and Nami is their land. Is basically the guys, which is basically just Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and Usopp, basically run around trying to hide him. And Robin's definitely in this particular one. Chopper appears briefly, like his version, anyways. It's just an odd one. It was the first time I watched it. It was pretty fun, nonetheless. Okay. Next is No Respect Time. This is basically all the Straw Hat crew acting like gangsters. No, seriously, that's basically what this is. And Luffy's like, oh, I'm going to be the big boss. So all the Straw Hats apparently kill each other. And it starts out with 4 Easter egg heads. Easter Island heads. I'm not kidding. It's 4 Easter Island heads. And they're all bored, so they dream up this whole entire thing of the Straw Hat crew acting like gangsters. And they all kill each other just so Luffy can eat all the meat. Yeah, it's one of the more odder ones, but it's quite hilarious. The last one is Monster Time. Well, all of the characters are in fact monsters. Chopper is an octopus. Luffy is a dragon. Let's see. Usopp is a centaur. Let's see. Zoro is a bull, and he carries on clubs instead of swords. Sanji looks, well, kind of like a froggish one. And Nami, I'll get to Rob in a minute. Nami is a mermaid. I'm not kidding. Nami is a mermaid in this one. And Robin is basically Medusa. And she kind of acts like Boa Hancock over her missing earrings. Yep, that was really the whole point of this. Now, they have used elements of this thing later on, like they gave her the whole thing of whenever she looks basically at certain people, and she wears sunglasses, so she doesn't. Whenever she looks at people, she can actually not turn into stone. They gave that ability to Boa Hancock. As for the whole thing, her hair, they actually gave it to one of her sisters. I have to look it up. Let's see. What is the name of Boa Hancock's sister? That let's see. What is the name of her sister? The one who has the snake hair. I know it's supposed to be sort of like Medusa. Let's see here. What? Let's see here. I'm trying to think of her sister's name. It's. So that Frankie shows me. Frankie with this anime version, I didn't see him show up in this one at all. It's quite odd, and there's no version of Thousand Sunny in here. It's like some of the stuff in here is just, well, nods to actual things, like Luke being a dragon because his father's name is Dragon. Chopper being an octopus. Nami and Murray, that's a nod to where village was taken over by fishmen. Well, evil fishmen, that is, yes. It's like some of them basically, well, let's see. I think it's this one. Not mistaken. Let's see. I'm trying to see our picture here. No, it's not this one. It is the sister that basically the whole snake hair thing. That's Sandersona. Yeah. Yeah, her hair is very similar to that, but yeah, it's like they use that. But Robin doesn't have the whole thing of the whole schoolgirl crush thing that on Luffy like Bo Hancock does. But basically they use elements of her for the actual anime. Well, of course, for the character herself. But yeah, it's a pretty good one. Unless it's actually one of the more better ones of the anime. For the Omakes. The last one is Chopper Man. Yep, where Chopper is a superhero. And get this. Nami is his assistant. Usopp is the villain. With Robin, Zoro, and Sanji are his henchmen. Luffy is a robot. Not kidding, Luffy is a robot. Luffy Bot what they call him. And this one actually got a follow-up in the anime, which I'll get to in a minute. This one I actually skipped over, but yeah, just Chopper just basically act like how should I put this? He kind of acts like, in a way, kind of acts like Superman. He goes all over the world battling crime. Except that apparently his only abilities are, well, they did show off his abilities in the episode. Apparently, I know he can fly, and he can do a cutesy power. That's really it. It's a fun little short. And Zoro, apparently, they made him to a robot for some reason. And they apparently have this thing where he has a fetish for rice balls, and he's got one sword, which is odd. Sanji is a guy wearing a frog suit. Robin basically is kind of like one of the Hindu gods. Basically, a nod to how she is in the regular storyline, where she's got, well, 6 arms. Because, well, one of her powers, she can create multiple arms, or multiple versions of her hands and arms and legs, basically even her whole body. Yeah. Usopp just now Usopp in this one wanted to kidnap Nami's kind of part in this one, but for some reason his henchmen. Oh, I should point out his henchmen are wearing the same attire as the German as the Germa 66 soldiers do in the regular anime. I'm not kidding. When I saw this, I'm like, okay, did Oda reuse these costumes for the Germa 66? Seems like he did, because they're the same exact costumes. Well, the color scheme for these 3 henchmen, it's the same color scheme as Sanji's father, Judge. Not kidding. The gray, the orange outline, the goggles. Yep, it's like they reused the same suits for him, and then basically used the whole number thing, and basically they put that on the soldiers. So yeah, it looks like they reused that later. That's what it seems like to me. Of course, Luffy, the mate, basically, oh yeah, he gets sort of, and Luffy, his robe ability is he can talk. Yep, he can talk. He basically takes him from the Usopp, for the evil Usopp, and sort of, well, gets away, gets to his headquarters. Basically, his headquarters is kind of like a 4-story house, and apparently, and it's revealed also in the follow-up, that Nami has on a mission so he doesn't spend all day watching TV. Seriously, that's the reason why he goes on missions. And Nami, basically, she has like a very weird looking headset where it just basically covers up her ears, has like a little mic thing, and how she gets the missions is via transponder snail. I'm like, okay, I guess you're trying to use some of the technology that's noteworthy used before in One Piece, but TVs don't. They technically don't have TVs in One Piece. Not that I know. Basically, they have video transponder snails, but not actual TV sets. Yeah, and they actually show in the follow-up one where Chopper basically just, well, he just sits down, watches TV, eats potato chips. Yeah, and Usopp is like, okay, oh yeah, and also point out though that the evil versions of Sanji, Robin, and Zoro, they appear briefly in the Chopman Omake. They had nothing really much to do with that story. They're just there just set up for this one right here, which they do a little bit, not very much. I mean, Robin apparently, it's kind of revealed that Robin is actually in love. The evil version of Robin, the Robin's counterpart in here, is in love with Chopper Man because he's cute. Yep. Of course, Sanji is not that much different from his regular counterpart, except he just wears a frog suit. There's at one point he has 2 cigarettes as well, which I thought that was odd. I'm thinking, I get the fact he's actually one of 2 characters who actually smokes in the series. The other, of course, is Smoker. Last time I checked, he's not freaking Smoker. Yeah, and this one also has versions of this one of Tashiki, the 2 bounty hunters from Bastille and Arlon Park. Yeah, they have a version here. One of whom has a scar across his chest like Zoro does in the anime. I don't really know why these guys are here for. Yeah, apparently this is supposed to be their version of like a samurai movie. Except for some reason they decided to have him like where he has a fetish for rice balls. No idea why. Also, it kind of bugs me the fact that they made him to a robot. And Luffy. I guess they don't want to have different powers, so why that? Also, there's a version of Frankie that shows up in here. And he's a robot as well. Completely robot. Unlike in the regular series where he's a cyborg. This one kind of makes a little more sense than Luffy being a robot. Yeah. Because, well, Frankie's got robotic parts, so him being a robot in here makes sense. Luffy robot makes absolutely no sense. Oh yeah, and also I forgot to mention that at the end of the Omake, instead of basically having this thing where he would just, or Chopman basically is going on a mission, he wants to take the Luffy robot with him, but Nami sold him off to get jewels. To get these 5 jewels, to get these jewels to cover up all, that basically put rings on all 5 fingers. And then pretty much you have to sell the jewels off in this one to get the Luffy robot back. The Luffy robot basically, of course, they do also various other things like Chopper. Now Usopp basically takes over a TV station, and first he tries to sing, that gets taken out. Then Sanji has his own cooking show. Apparently he wants to run a 30-hour one. Okay, Dad. It's a really fun one. I do recommend basically want something different from the action anime, okay? But yeah, that's really it. Stay tuned for the next episode for the anime review, which I think will be like 24, I think it is, 24, 25. I don't know how to look it up, but this is the last one for a little while for the specials. Next time, how are you anything aside from the actual anime manga? Maybe a light novels if I ever get a chance to get my hands on them. Okay? But until then, I will see you there. Bye.